Hello, loves. This is Mercedes Swan, the Career Love Coach and the host of the Career Love Podcast. Of course, this is my podcast, which is a love letter to the 9.8 million Black women in the workplace and a safe space for Black women who truly want to change the world and build a career, a business, and lifestyle they really love. And this is the first episode, and I'm so excited because we are talking about Black women in STEM, okay? And we need to talk about this more because, of course, it's no surprise to anybody here. Black women in STEM are underrepresented, right? Under-resourced, underprivileged. And so it's exciting to talk about this because the person that's here on the call with us is one of my very favorite people in the world. My ride or die, my best friend since kindergarten, okay? Girl, that's my girl. And we just over the years have really just supported and loved on each other. And we just have so many conversations about how proud we are of how far we've come in life. I continue to be proud of who she is and her career and being one of the 2% of Black women in STEM positions. Okay, she did that. Okay, she is a representation. I know, right? I'm being a little bit silly, but truly, this is my girl. And so to just set us up for this conversation, if you don't know this, right? Black people, Black professionals in STEM only make up about 9% of the STEM workforce. It was actually I had a hard time even finding those statistics because it's not even talked about a lot. I mean, and the data that I did find was from 2021. So there's still gaps and lack of understanding in there. And yes, Black women, when you narrow that down and consider the experience that Black women have being only 2%, woo, this is going to be a podcast. This is going to be a podcast. So with that being said, I am honored and so excited to introduce my best friend, Destinee Wheeler. And she is a bridge designer. And then when you consider her as a bridge designer, she's literally 1% of Black women, less than 1% actually, of Black women in structural engineering. And she was also my very first career coaching client. So I got to work with her. She's on my website. I got to work with her to help her to package her skills and really understand all the amazing things that she had done before she had even graduated college. So all of that being said, I'm so excited for this conversation. I'm so excited for you to hear this, for you to see Destinee because she's amazing. So I'm going to pass it off to Destinee to tell me a little bit about herself personally and professionally and what it's like being in her field.
Hello, my name is Destinee. I'm from Orlando, Florida, born and raised. Growing up, you can call me a nerd, really. I was really good at math, so I just kind of stuck with that. Yeah, I played tennis growing up, but I stopped once I got to college because trying to do engineering and working and being in, like, it's not gonna work. So I put down the racket, just focus on school um, and got my degree, got my BS in civil engineering in 2019, got my first big girl job, and then COVID hit. So then I was like, all right, so what do we do?
The Rona.
So literally. So I went back to school in 2022 in that spring, and then my last semester is next semester in the spring. So I will have my master's in May. So yes,
Yes.
a little bit about me.
Yes. I love it. Also, 9% of Black women. I didn't go look at this up yesterday. I was somebody on TikTok. And she was like, I've joined the 9% of Black women with
It's
master's degree.
crazy. It's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
I read that. I was like, what do you mean 2%? What are you talking about? But
It's
then I
really
look
just
around
2%.
and I see it. It's 2%. Because I could count on my hand how many Black girls were in my class. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like three of us. So
Yeah. And I mean, we look at it, I almost pulled the data for how many like Black women in STEM receive degrees. Like there
mhm.
was some statistics on bachelor's and master's degree. I didn't pull them up. But I also wonder like how many Black women go and get that degree and then are not successful in pivoting into like actually getting that job. And we know,
Mhm.
when we talked about it when you were, applying for your first big girl job,
Yeah.
applying for your first big girl job. Anyway, so sorry for my blowout here. Okay, it was some
It's
interesting here.
cute.
Thank you. Thank you. My mom said, she's like, girl, you look like a pinup girl. I was like, and but yeah, when we were talking about it, it's so challenging to like recognize how your skill set, like as an undergraduate student, like translated into and your internships as well, right? Because
Mhm.
you had an amazing internship, and you're like, how do
Yeah.
I talk about this internship, or like how do I get those skills across? And I was like, girl, you did amazing stuff. Like, let's get that
Yeah.
on your resume. But I could see how that's a challenge with figuring it out, not just navigating, you know, college, but also the transition, particularly when, for a lot of us, we do not have that mentor in our lives, right? Who's gonna tell us how to navigate a STEM job?
Didn't have one. Did not have one. You know what I had? I had an uncle who was like, "You need to do this." Like he told me to join the army at one point. I was like, "Doesn't exist." Like whatever he told me to join didn't exist anymore. I was like, "Okay,
Okay,
it's
I got
like
it. Okay,
it's not.
we
It's
gonna
not a
get
lot of
there.
mentorship."
It's not. It's really not. It's really out here figuring it out. But you did
Literally.
it, and you're doing it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So you were telling me a little bit about, family, the lack of mentorship, like finding your way, I think
Hmm.
is what I would say that. And I know as Black women, we're finding our way, often without help. So what ultimately led you to choose to become a structural engineer and specifically also a bridge designer? Of course, you know about the Career Love podcast, but do you know about the Career Love community? The Career Love community is a safe, inclusive, and warm environment that I created for Black women who are working on their big career, life, and business goals. The community not only offers a safe space for you to achieve those goals, but it also offers training, guides, resources, and even support like group coaching to help you accomplish those things faster. And because the community is by Black women for Black women, you'll know that your experiences and how you navigate the world as a Black woman is seen, heard, and deeply felt by the other beautiful Black women in this beautiful community. It's my goal to help Black women enter their Black woman bliss era by creating careers and businesses they really love with clarity and confidence. So if this sounds like you, go ahead and learn more about the community in the show notes. You can watch a webinar or you can directly join. And of course, let me know if you have any questions. You're always welcome to reach out. All right, let's get back to the show.
That same uncle actually. So I wanted to be an architect back in high school, and my uncle was like, "You should do civil engineering. Like it's really hard to make a name for yourself as an architecture." And I was like, "Okay." So then I was looking into it, and then I got into like the CAD classes that we had because I was in the STEM program at my high school. So that was also like a good intro of like
Mm-hmm.
what I would be experiencing. So I got into CAD a little bit, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do this." And so then I found out that like structural engineering was a thing because I was always into buildings. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And then UCF had a program, Miami had a program, but their tuition was like $40,000. I was like, whew, like a semester. I was like, I'm not doing that. So um, I went to UCF and I did civil engineering. And then like you don't really get into your classes until because you're civil engineering pending until you clear those like base courses. So I did that, and then my first internship um, was through their experimental like thing that the UCF has. But basically, you can do a week-long internship, and I did them at a few. I think it was one at like at City of Orlando, and then the other one was at another engineering firm, and that one kind of confirmed. I was like, yeah, I kind of want to stick to structural. I got
Yeah.
into bridge engineering when after I had my last internship, the guy was pretty bad, so I quit, and then I went to a career fair at
Wait, I
UCF.
forgot about that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I was like toxic, very
Uh-oh.
very toxic. But I went to a career fair, and I pretty much was just trying to find all the structural companies that were out there, and I stumbled upon the first big girl job that you helped me get, and they were actually British. They had a British department there. So I did that, and I just kind of like stuck with it because I also did wanted to do bridges too. But I feel like in structural it's either or. Like you don't work on bridge projects and like vertical buildings and stuff like that. So I just kind of stuck with it, and my next job was still in bridges, which I didn't mind. I like bridges anyway. So yeah, it was in like I just kind of found my way, on through and got in the bridge department and stayed and really liked it. And it's honestly you learn something new every day. So it's like
Mm,
it's never a boring day at work, I would say. Well,
yeah.
now that I got my another job. Another story,
We
another
go we
story.
gonna have to talk about that one because that was a doozy, right? When we talk about this
Yeah.
stuff in the career that's like, how does this help me grow? Make it make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was probably like what the final thing came down to. I think that's what I talked to you about was just like I'm not growing in
Mm,
this position like at all. So like I need
yeah.
to make a switch. But it was also COVID years. So it was like I'm just happy to have a job at this point, Like and then Biden signed
It's
the infrastructure
true.
bill and then we got all that like,
You were like,
all
okay,
right, we got a job now.
okay,
All
give
these
me give me
projects
my
coming up.
cash.
Mm-mm.
Okay, Biden, give me my
Literally,
paycheck.
literally. Like, okay, literally. So thanks, Biden.
So thank you, Biden. We did it, Joe. Um, okay, so I do want to talk about challenges later, but I think I
Hmm.
want to circle back to a little bit of the day to day, especially for people who are out there thinking, Black women specifically looking into STEM positions and trying to figure out like, okay, is this something that would excite me or that I want to do? Tell us a little bit about like the day to day of your role and like what you do on a day to day. Also, I don't know if you're allowed to, but you worked on an exciting project, at least one. So if you
I
can share
don't
that, please do.
know.
But if you can't, don't
Can
do
I
it. It's
share
fine.
that? I'll talk about my experience on that one because it was like that was also a fight almost.
Mm,
So,
mm-hmm.
okay, so my day to day. So I'm a design engineer. So my day to day is literally like I get a task, usually some type of design. I'm gonna say some words that's probably gonna be a little confusing, but I don't really know how else to say it. So there's different components of a bridge. And since I've started at my new job, which was about almost 2 years ago now, I feel like,
That went
um,
so fast.
I know. Oh my goodness. So I got put on a lot of like superstructures design. So pre-stressing beams, your decks, barriers, those type of components is what I was like mainly designing. And even for this next project, I took that over a little bit too. That's another thing. But so that's my day to day. Day to day, come in, we have this design that needs to get done. And when I got hired, my boss's boss was like, we want to make sure that you go through the entire design. So like between 0% to 100, like that's our goal. And
Mm,
that is exactly what is happening because usually you have like 30, 60, 90, and 100% like in a design
mm-hmm.
project.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like the 30% is usually like preliminary stuff, but what I do now is like I'm taking the designs to well right now literally to 100% and then also doing like bridge plans, like the markups and everything. Um, so that's also let's say this, I have learned to know what to mark up
Yes.
on a bridge plan. So I was saying I've learned so much in like these past
Yeah.
literally 2 years. It's kind of
Hmm.
insane. But
That's
now it's to
amazing.
the point where like I help the younger engineers that have like just came in like a few months ago. And it's so fun to watch because I was like, I was you when I first
Yes.
came in as a young engineer and they have so many questions and it's just like, oh, I was probably doing the same thing to my senior engineer,
Yes.
all types of questions. So
Oh.
it's a mix between like getting designs done, you know, status meetings and where we are. I'm getting a little bit more responsibility into like designating tasks as well. This last project we really needed it because it was really just me and this other girl. We kind of had to like pull in some people. So a young
Hmm.
engineer was under me, so I was kind of helping him with things as well. But yeah, I'm not a project manager per se, so I don't need to be in like the I don't need to be calling all the shots, let's say. But like I think I don't want to do that either because I kind of got a taste of it. I was like, I'd rather just be
I'm
the
good.
designer. Yeah. I was like, I'd rather just be like
Yeah.
mainly the designer, which is why like my day to day is I come in, I crunch numbers, I put things together. Like I don't have to talk to
Okay.
100 people. But eventually I will do because like the more you progress to become a senior, you're gonna have to talk to people.
Hmm.
But I don't want that to be like the main thing I do, which is on like the project manager side of things. So
Yeah.
also, I will say this remember how us not having mentors, like, being as Black women and stuff. So this job, my manager took upon himself to pair us with senior engineers as like our mentors, like within the
Yes.
department. So he's like,
That's what we need.
yeah. So he's like, so you don't have to just feel like you have to depend on me for questions and everything. Like he's like, we have so many senior engineers here. Like they've been there for like 25 years. Like
Uh-huh.
20, like they are smart people. Like so I thought that was also really nice. So now I have a mentor and possibly another one too. Just smart, really
Mm-hmm.
smart people all around, So that's probably winded answer, but that is my day to day.
No, this is
I
a good
go in,
answer.
I crunch the numbers.
Do the Black girl
We have,
magic with
yeah.
the math.
And then now with the teams and stuff, so it's like the girl I work with, she's in Indiana. So it's like we are literally on teams sometime. We got a question. Hey, how does this look? Like I'm literally learning stuff every day because it's not just about what you're designing. It's like how is the contractor gonna build this? Is this
Mm,
possible? Does this make sense? Like would you if you go out there in the field? So it's stuff
mhm.
like that. But yeah, for the most part, very simple day to day. Nothing too crazy as a designer anyway.
I'm laughing at you because you're like, this is simple. I was like, not me, not for me. Okay. I was like, I saw calculus. I said, I see what I need to see.
You see,
And
that
you
was
said,
it.
I'm going to continue to see.
Literally, like through it all, differential equations.
We're
That
gonna keep going.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
So
get
I was
going.
like, it's simple for you, but yes, Black girl
It's not
stuff.
even simple for me, but it's like I like it. I like the challenge. And then
Yes.
once I get, because the annoying thing about me is like if I can't figure it out, it's like I need to figure this out before I go to sleep. Like I did that the other day. Like on Friday, I was like, I'm not clocking out until I finish this because I don't want to come in on Monday and have to like figure. No,
Oh, I thought you were gonna
what is
say you
this?
were doing that thing where you were like thinking about it in your sleep and then you woke up in
Oh,
the
I
middle
do
of the
that too.
night.
Yeah, when you dream math,
Believe me?
it's not like that's how
That
you know
sounds like
you need a
wild work.
vacation. You need a
Sounds
vacation.
like
You need
really
to,
wild work.
and then doing my master's on top of that, like I really dream math sometimes. It's like
Oh my gosh.
it's so nerdy. Like it
Be a
is what it is.
nerd. Yeah.
Whew. When I say I have a list of hobbies that I want to
Yes.
try when I graduate, because I don't
Okay.
have time to do them right now. So it's like,
Yeah. We need
oh
that
my
time.
goodness, it's so
Hmm.
annoying. I was like, I hate having to say no to things because I want to go ahead and be in school and like,
But it's gonna be over. It was like when
it's
it's
gonna be
over, it's
over.
over.
It's
Yeah.
over because I'm not going back.
I am most excited about like, the balance of what my new year will be is
Yeah.
like I want to go back and like watch all the Black sitcoms that I didn't watch.
Yay.
I want to watch some anime. I want to
Mhm.
do like
Mhm.
my um what is that called? Polymer clay crafting that I was doing that I kind of
Ceramics
stopped.
is on my list. Yep.
Okay, ceramics. Oh, okay, but I feel like ceramics has been a long time, Destiny.
It
It's
has. And
coming.
I went
It's
to
gonna
a
be
class. I went to a class last semester, like in
here.
August, and I was like, yeah, I found it. Like I'm not I can't
Yeah,
make this.
but it's coming. That
Right.
peace, that joy, that freedom in that,
Oh my goodness.
it's gonna
I
be
feel it.
good.
Every time I rest, I'm like, oh
Yeah. And we're not gonna go into
yeah.
detail, but also the financial freedom of some certain decisions and
Ooh.
stuff. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Put that tuition back in my pocket. Like, what?
Girl. It's like I would like to feel my full check, thank you.
Hello? What?
Hello.
DoorDash has been
Oh
my
my God.
friend. When I
Oh my
say
gosh.
in Chipotle,
I
because it was
believe
right
you.
down the street
Chipotle
in
did
my
not
old
get
apartment,
me.
and it had the drive-through.
I believe you. It
What?
must have been so. Yeah, it was dangerous because I remember a couple times I came over and I was like Chipotle again, Destiny. It can't be
Hmm.
every time I see you it's Chipotle.
Every Wednesday, that's what it was. Every Wednesday, I was having
It
Chipotle.
was
Like,
Chipotle.
it was like when I'm too tired.
Anyway, I'm upset with Chipotle right now because I went the one in Gainesville,
Hmm.
and it's a bunch of college kids. It was a busy day. I
Hmm.
said I paid $2 extra for this guac. You gonna give me this guac? I was upset. And then
Oh,
I
they didn't give you
went,
the block?
they didn't give me my guac, girl. And I was being good, so I didn't even have I had like a salad bowl. I was like, the thing
Yeah.
for me in this was the guac. So I sent a little message because I'm upset about my guac because I done drove away. It was busy. I knew I wasn't going back in there for that guac. And I messaged the little AI person and she's like, "Oh, we'll
Mm,
give you a credit for another guac." They gave me my money back after I
that's good.
complained. So,
That's
anyway, let's talk about more challenges outside of
right,
getting your
right.
guac from Chipotle. Um, so I
Woo.
think my question, so I love how you were talking about the growth piece, like the mentor piece, and I
Hmm.
love like hearing the big differences in what was happening at your last firm to where
Yeah.
you are now with having more of that growth. And I think that's often what happens with Black women because our goal, right, should be to grow our career, should be to move to your point, like into higher level management or senior roles so that you get one, that experience that prepares you for that, which is what you shared you're getting now. And also just opportunity for you to have exposure to those things so that you can grow. So all of these things like helping you grow. So what do you feel like was the key moment when you realized at your last role that like you weren't going to get what you needed there to grow and like what made the decision, what
Mm.
contributed to that decision for you to leave? Because I feel like so many Black women stay and they don't realize that it's like this is actually, impacting their ability to like move forward.
Yeah.
Not just in STEM, but definitely in STEM, right? Where the representation is even lower. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I think, well, I realized it kind of like early on, but it's like one of those things where you can't tell if this is being done on purpose or if it's just a coincidence. And I feel like, to be fair, I really feel like it was a lot of bad timing, a coincidence mixed with like the dynamic of what the office already was. Not necessarily the company, but
Mm-hmm.
like the head probably leadership of the office and like the direction they wanted to go with things. So what happened with me was I'm a new engineer. Um, Essentially, we were switching from design work to um, review work, if that makes sense. Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
safe, let's say that. So like, granted, I had like great engineers around me, and like another stuff I was doing is a lot of like um traffic lights, like mast arms, they call them mast arms, and like strain pulls and stuff like that. I was getting a lot of that work because I think what was happening is that they wanted me to be like the next head person for those type of designs. Um, so it's very easy to get pigeonholed in like one type
Mm-hmm.
of design, and it was like it wasn't what I wanted to do. And then again, COVID happened. So like a lot of work really wasn't there. Like I said, I was happy to have a job at that point.
That's true.
So it was like I said, the bad timing, just got
Mm-hmm.
hired, not getting the type of work that even the other engineers like wanted. Like it wasn't just me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I was probably one of the last ones to leave, but it
Mm-hmm.
was because,
We stay too long.
yeah, and I know that happened because even the older black guy, like I'm still friends with him. Like we be having lunch because he works next door to me now because he left too. So
Wait, I forget. So did he go to the same organization or that just happens that two different organizations are next to each other?
so his job, his company is next door to mine. But we were at the same company before. He's an older guy, but he all like from the beginning he looked out for me, and I was like, appreciate you, because like at one point he like brought me over and showed me his 401k. He was like, you need to have this when you get to be my age. So um it's always good to have those type of people around, especially like being black, because he was black too. So it was nice. But back to challenging. It really was bad timing, and also feeling like other people were getting put ahead of me. Um, because probably I was new, I also was the only girl, even though I don't think that was the reason. And it's just like those subconscious things like, oh, well, let's get this person in here. And then also I would get put on a project and then other work would become available. And then I'm no longer available for that project because I'm on this. And this isn't really related to like structural engineering. But I will say I got a well-rounded like review of all types of engineering. When I say I was down at the county, I was doing traffic work, like so I can the thing that I will say, like my dad always told me to like soak up whatever they like try to teach you or whatever. I can now like recognize other stuff on other projects that's not necessarily related to engineering. Like I know where to find things essentially. So even though it might not have been, picture perfect, I was exposed to a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
because the work was like so scarce that it was literally like we need you to like we're work sharing essentially with other departments. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, how long are we gonna work share for? And then there's a project very famous in Florida that finally opened up, but it was like it kept getting delayed. Like when I say, oh my goodness, it was like, don't even say we're expecting this project until it actually happens. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when I left. And then I think after I left, they actually started to get work for it. And I don't, but the thing is, like, you don't know how long that work is going to be there. Like, it could definitely run out, like, within a few months. So it was just like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not worth it. Like, trying to wait for this one project. Like, no, I'm okay. It's actually kind of funny. When I left, they were trying to get me to stay, which I get. I don't know if it's because like they had to meet a quota. I doubt it. It's me making jokes,
They
but
always they always want you to stay. It's
I
like
know
I could have stayed.
if
I
we
could
had
have
like
stayed if you
it,
figured
but
this out, but you
yeah,
didn't figure this out.
and I
Yeah.
wasn't the only one. Like I can't even say it was just because of me being a black woman. I mean, I don't like it was a lot of people were quitting. Like
Yeah.
people were not happy with the type of work we were getting. So it was like we gotta figure something out. And I was like, I'm gonna go figure it out over here. Why y'all just like even my boss was like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody was mad. Like it was. I felt kind of like justified, and I also felt happy about my decision in the end because I knew I had to choose myself in that moment, and I knew if I stayed any longer I was going to be worse off. Like I would be almost 4 years in around the time you're supposed to be getting like your PE and stuff like that. That's a whole
Mm-hmm.
other story. But it was like I felt like I had nothing
Mm-hmm.
personally. I could be like, okay, I know how to do this like with confidence. But
Yeah.
now I could tell you maybe 3 months into that job, the job that I have now, I was like, I'm doing my work now in these three
Mm-hmm.
months that I did in like the 4 years I was up there. Like it's crazy
Yeah.
to think.
Yeah.
But and then the elder guy I was telling you about, he actually told me, he was like, there's another black girl or black woman, I think she was brown, black woman that was there and
She
she
was
went through the
growl.
same thing. Right. She was
Mm-hmm.
but she went through the same thing, like at the same, I want to say in the same office. So it was like you don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it's on purpose. I don't think they're that ill-hearted. Like they were really lovely people. I just think it was more of just like the dynamic of the office and like the timing was just bad, and it
Mm-hmm.
was probably God trying to tell me you need to go somewhere else. And then I finally
Yeah.
listened, and every time I listen to God, it works out. I don't
You
know.
gotta
I'm hard-headed
listen.
sometimes, but
You gotta
uh,
listen. But you got there, girl, and like look at you today.
yeah, it's crazy. I was like, I kind of became important at work.
Okay, that's the feeling, that's the energy. That's
Yeah.
power. Yeah, because when we were talking, and a lot of the problem with that is it's not if you're not selfish about yourself and your career, you get
Hmm.
stuck, right? And so we talked about this dynamic where you were really feeling a challenge in moving from them because you didn't feel like you were having the types of experiences that would be beneficial elsewhere. Oh my gosh, and you know what? As I was preparing for this, I remember that story, that crazy story about the people trying to lowball you an offer.
Oh
You
yeah.
remember that, Destiny? I was like, I said, Destiny, my career coaching woo woo juices were
Yeah,
going because
I know.
I said, Destiny, they're about to lowball you.
I know.
They're about
But
to
the
give
thing
you an
was,
offer.
it was crazy because I was like, this is less than what I'm
It
making now.
was
Like,
crazy.
but like I knew they needed people because of the company that they do work for. They're just about to open up. It was Universal. Like I knew what the work they were about to get, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like I said, structural engineering has some like even though it may just be structural engineering, you got bridges, you got like horizontal, vertical, and then you got like roller coasters and stuff like that. Like I was
Nerd
like,
out,
I wouldn't
girl.
if I go to this job, I would be starting from ground zero, like trying to
Mhm.
learn everything else. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy I didn't go with them. So
I'm gonna hold people accountable for
no, it's
lowballing black women.
very
I don't
I
care
know.
where.
I know. I don't even know if they have the
Sir,
money.
this is
But
a struck. You gonna play the black tax, okay?
yeah, I know I'm
For
paying
me
that
being the
already.
1%. No, I'm talking about
Crazy.
them.
I
Play the
know.
black tax.
I wish that was a real thing.
Um, I mean, it
Could
can
be one
be.
day.
Like I'm
One
your representation. I'm your diversity hire. You gonna play that black tax. Anyway, also there was another thing that I loved about what you said. There's been so many conversations that I've had as a coach where black people find that they either have this great ally in the other Black people, and that for you, that's even more rare, right? You found one of the
Hmm.
9%
Hmm.
of
He was
Black
the only
people.
other guy in the office.
Only one. Exactly. But you know how sometimes that's a really great experience. I'm so glad that you had that mentor to be like, this is what you need to
Yeah.
do, and I know you had those conversations with, and I'm not sure if it was that individual, but conversations about, yeah, this is going to hold you back. Like you're earlier in your career, this is really going to hold you
Hmm.
back. You actually can't afford to stay here for your career progression. And so I just find it lovely that we can all be that person in our careers, right? Because on the other side of that, I hear, the not great stories about support and mentorship from other Black individuals in the workplace. I just want to call attention to that, like the community there that you had, the mentorship that you had that you didn't know that you would in him, and that
Hmm.
is amazing.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, when you think about it, like, okay, yeah, maybe it wasn't intentional, but on the other hand of that, like, they weren't intentional about trying to fill the gap for you. And I think even you can even
Yeah.
see like good-hearted people and say, well, actually, you can be proactive because if you were to really think about the long-term impact that it would have on you in your career and not putting you
Hmm.
on the right projects, not giving you the right mentorship, what if you would have stayed, right?
Right.
Devastating for your career. So I just gotta say that, okay. I'm gonna call them
I
out.
know.
I'm gonna
I
call
know.
them out, okay?
No, but I will say you can usually tell between like the ones who respect you and the ones that don't.
Mm,
Um, if you don't see it like right away, it eventually like shows itself for sure. Um, so yeah, I mean that's also like fun to navigate. I think the first internship is probably the one that like you it was very clear. Like I didn't have to I didn't have to read behind any lines or anything like that.
mhm,
In school is definitely clear to see. Like I said, it's very lonely. As like another challenge anyway. Like it's not a lot of us,
mm,
especially in like structures. And then it also depends on when you are in school because you might be off with the other Black kids. So like you may have these classes, they may have that classes. Like if you're a year ahead of them or you're behind them and stuff. I've met my Black friends, and I think I have two people that are in structures, one guy, one girl, and then the other guy is in land development. And, we don't communicate like all the time, but like on social and stuff like that here and there, just because they're also in the engineering world. So it's still good to like stay in touch with these people, and they're really chill. So it's like, Black people, it's always nice to have them in your field. But like, I joined sisters because there was really like no Black people around me. So like I had to go find my people.
yeah, you
But
need
yeah.
the community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally, because I was like, I'm getting pretty lonely and it kind of
Mm,
sucks. So,
it is
yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Which leads to the next question of, in this space, so I heard you say community, mentorship,
Hmm.
growth opportunities, but, for other people thinking about maybe being a Black woman in STEM, like what has it realistically looked like for you working in honestly these white male dominated spaces? Because women in general are underrepresented severely. And so that means you're probably just mostly running around with white men all the time. And
Yeah.
so,
Um,
yeah.
I mean, if you're being honest, like the first big girl job, I was the woman that was there quit maybe a couple months into me being there, and then it was just me, and the rest were white men. Maybe, yeah, one Asian, one Black, the guy I was talking about, like our cat tech, and then yeah, white men. So, okay, so I'll give you a real clear description. You remember that episode in Insecure when Molly was like trying to make friends with the people and she was like going to the hockey game and like trying to talk about hockey, like over coffee and stuff like that. When I tell you, my first day, they take you out to lunch and stuff like that. It was even my first day, like first couple weeks. They were talking about like race cars, and I'm like, I don't.
We don't do
I
that.
don't
We
know
don't do
what to
NASCAR over
say.
here.
I don't know what to say. Like it's so like you literally
Oh.
have as far as that, like you kind of just giggle and laugh, when it fits, but it's kind of over time you get to know these people and you find things to talk about. So it's not horrible 100% of the time, but it is a sense of code switching. Like When
Mm.
I found a black girl in the office, it's like, oh, we can talk about my wig. Like, it's different. It's different conversations.
Is my wig okay? Is my lace?
Is it?
No, it's
Can you
kidding.
see it? Like, it's just
Yeah.
different. It's different conversations. Even at this last like job I have now, like after like the election, girl, we was in the hallway. Like it was, it's
Yes.
like you
The
get,
community at work was a different level of community
oh
after
my
the
God,
election. I was like, I need to
girl.
feel safe.
Yeah, and the
Yes.
thing is, that was probably like the first time that we actually had like a conversation. Like it was early. We made eye contact, and it was like, all right, girl, like
We need this. We need
we
this
was,
moment.
it was
That's
crazy. So,
amazing.
and then I like made a new friend, and so that's nice. And I have a new friend at work. But yeah, that's kind of how it is.
Mm.
But I will say, at this new job that I have, we are very mixed. Like
That's awesome.
I
And
don't,
to their testament, right?
in
Because
my
they've done
department at least.
everything right
Yeah.
by you.
Right, right. So I will say, like, we are very, it's diverse in my group. Like, I feel like,
This is what we want to see. Oh.
right. And I will say, I don't even know. I feel like I'm not worried, but like, I'm a little worried because we have people on like work visas, I think. And I'm like, are they gonna be okay? Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like, I like them, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on. We have one new girl, she's from India. My other senior engineer, that she's in the office in sciences, she's from China. Like, I think we got a new girl I think she's from Bermuda, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Um, I think me and my manager, we're like, I think he's from Orlando too. But he's white, I'm black. Um, we have I'm not even gonna try to assume what their ethnicity is, but we
It's
are
all good.
diverse.
It's diverse. I love how
We are
you was
very
like, I'm
diverse.
black. Like I just
Gotta
like when
cover
you
the
said it,
bases.
I just looked at you for a second. I was like, yeah. And I was like, that's neat.
Yeah, we gotta cover. We cover all the bases. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
My mentor, she's a white woman. I love her. Love she's she's great. And it's
Hmm.
so funny because she came from the same company that I did. Like she quit the same time that I did. And she
Somewhere
was
else.
working, I was working at I was working work sharing with her office,
Hmm.
and she ended up quitting when I quit, and then we came to this company and got in the same department. It was kind of hilarious, to be honest, because like she knew the guy I was working with last. It's like, did you know why she quit? Like,
But that,
I
you know
had
what?
to
I
go.
feel like that affirms some stuff, though, right? Because she probably
Okay.
left for the same
She
reasons.
did. Yeah, no, she did.
Yeah,
No, we were talking about it. It was like, you, it's
it's a,
not,
mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not
It's
gonna say too much
Is that
because,
proving it to you that it's intentional?
well, okay, so I will say I don't even know for her if it was like, I think it was the office. It's like you said, you have to be selfish essentially,
Hmm.
and if you
Yeah.
aren't, you will get pigeonholed. Like I don't even know if,
Hmm.
because I know a person there that got pigeonholed, and he ended up going to another department, and then I found out his real story, and I was like, oh, okay, like yeah, it's time to go.
I've seen. I have actually seen what I need to see. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you aren't like,
Um,
going for higher up, if you're not already in higher up, like you really gotta, it's like you gotta play a game there, and I don't really want to do that, to be honest. Like that's what it
no,
seems like
you don't
anyway.
need to play the game.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. I just want to go
And
to work,
how many of us are really
design
able
some
to
stuff.
play that game?
I know I'm
What
not.
games we got to play?
'Cause I'm gonna go
Mm-hmm.
home. Let me say something. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go home.
We're not
I
doing
don't have
this.
time for this.
Mm-hmm. We're
I don't
done.
have time for this.
We're done here.
You don't want me here? Okay.
Bye. Bye.
I'll see you later.
Okay, so this next question is so you talked about, your educational path, like your
Mhm.
internship, and we talked about you packaging your skills. So I think we've talked a lot about like the very traditional way of moving into this field, some of the requirements that you face. So let's say you have somebody that has, I don't know, maybe they're like me. They went and they got a business degree or they're just not in STEM at all. And they were really interested in, getting started in this career path later in life. Like, what would your advice be for them to get started? Where should they start? Do they need to go back to school? And Are there particular things that they need to do before they go back? Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can like prepare to be a structural engineer.
Hmm.
But I would say like you do probably need to go back to school because I think a lot of jobs just require you to have like the bachelor's degree. I know a lot are preferring you have a master's now.
Hmm.
So I will say if you do like community college first, save as much money as you can before you go to like one of the bigger schools. That was one of my regrets, like coming out of high school. I
Hmm.
should have did the dual enrollment. But yeah, so going to community college, getting your, I think it's the AA. Can you
Hmm.
refer to
Yeah,
that?
AS degree, AA degree.
Um, get as many credits as you can, especially math credits,
Hmm.
because UCF does like a placement test and it's very annoying. But
Yeah.
essentially, you want to get as close to that like non-pending status as possible. Um, I will say a lot of jobs, I want to say they like pretty much require you to have your um being an engineering intern, so you had to pass like the fundamentals engineering exam. I feel like
Hmm.
that's really step one, to be honest. But I've seen
Yeah.
people who were just like considered technicians. At my first internship, um, he was pretty much just a technician because he didn't have his PE. Um,
Mm.
and he was, late in life. He had a kid early on, so it was like he never went and got it. But he did a lot of design work, but it was just our boss was signing off on it pretty much. Like he would stamp the plans. So, um, but if you're starting like fresh, go to community college, do as much as you can there, and then go to the school, like transfer over, and finishing out your degree. That's probably going to be like, I don't think there's another route besides that. Everything requires you to have the certification nowadays. So,
Mm.
um, even with me, I'm struggling to get this PE right now, child. But
I know. It will too pass.
yeah,
It will also
yeah,
pass.
we'll be there. But yeah, so
Um,
I would say that as far as like
yeah.
taking an alternate route of doing or just starting later in life in general and take your time. Like it'll be there. There's gonna be work there.
So I heard you say something about a technician because I also want to help people kind of understand the career path. So for instance, like does a technician do a lot of what you do without the degree, without the PE?
Think so. I would say so. I mean, I think that
Mm.
was his official title. I don't know if it's like
Mm.
a thing people really want you to be, but that's what I've seen. Like
Got it.
we were under him, like as new designers essentially. Like we were interns and he was the head
Okay.
engineer, but like he just didn't have the title of it because he didn't like take the test for it or anything like that. Um,
Gotcha.
I think I saw something on like one of those Reddit
Hmm.
forums and somebody was asking like she was or no, I think it was Mandy Money, Budgetnista, their podcast. What's it
Yes.
called? What's
The
the name
Brown
of
and
it?
Brown
Brown and
Ambition.
Ambition. I think somebody
I
wrote
love
in
their
and
podcast.
they were saying like she was in the same situation. She was pretty much a technician and she was trying to
Hmm.
figure out like how to go about like leveling up. And it was like, honestly, in engineering, you kind of have to go take that test to do
Hmm.
anything, really, like to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like an easy way around it. I don't think, but
No, that's
honestly,
fair.
this is the type of field where at the end of the day we have people's lives in our hands, so it's
Mm.
like getting as much
Uh-huh.
like technical experience as you can, to me, I mean, at least in my field, to me is beneficial. Like I said, I
Mm.
learn something new every day, like just subscribing to like the Structure magazine. Do I read them all the time?
Why does that look
No.
like it came out of the 90s?
Oh, I don't know, it probably did, but
I mean,
it's
look at the
really,
font and stuff. It's
yeah,
okay.
that's
If
true.
it's
I
good
really
information.
like this one.
I would prefer to look at the Cowboy Carter album art
Oh,
instead. I'm just kidding.
I have nowhere to put her because I'm
She's
moving soon. So
beautiful.
she's right there. And
She's
yeah,
beautiful. It's okay.
when the
I've
third one
appreciated
comes,
seeing a little.
yeah, a little B, just a little bit.
Okay, so now let's talk about like the upward progression, right?
Hmm.
Because so I know when we were talking, you were talking about the differences between like engineer one, two, three. So
Hmm.
tell me, like, what is your upward progression? So I assume you're going to go through that levels, and at some point, it's more of like a supervising type engineer thing. Like, tell me a little bit about what that
You
career path is.
can. So you can. So right now I am engineer two. In at this firm I'm at now, they don't have engineer three. It's just you get your
Mm,
PE, your professional engineering license, and then you go
okay.
to senior engineer. So like that's
Okay.
their level. It's 1, 2, senior, which is kind of scary to me. I'm like when you
I'm
like
too
initially it's
responsible.
like how long have I been in this field? Like that's legit sometimes how I feel. But
Yeah.
so that's their level, and then senior 1, 2, 3. I don't
Mhm.
know what comes after that, to be honest. I haven't thought about it that far. But I will say probably is when the senior engineer stuff is when you start taking on the like lead task roles and possibly delegating. It just depends on who's on the project and how many other people like we have. You'll usually see like the more senior people take those roles, and then
Mhm.
like you'll probably be in charge of maybe um the more not so necessarily like complex designs, but um probably things that might take a little bit more time to set up or just to get through since you might have most of the experience. But I will say the new engineers that have come in, it was like, here's a design, we'll help you, but like this one's yours.
Yeah. Have fun
It's just
with
like
that. We'll see when you get
yeah,
back. Ask
exactly.
questions.
Ask me when you need me. So yeah, I will say like
Yes.
looking going like looking in the future, it'll probably be more not supervisor role necessarily, but probably definitely more of a delegating role. I think it just depends on who's available for which project,
Mm,
and if your manager knows that you're capable or not, and if you just have the time. Like we have a pretty big group, so
mhm.
but we also have a lot of work. So if you know anybody who's in structural engineering wants a job, let me know. Uh,
Go get that degree, y'all, because it is a
legit.
shortage, right? Like it's not enough
Hmm.
people, and that's why I was talking about the visa. I mean, it was a joke, but I know we have concerns about our incoming
Hmm.
administration. But the fact of the matter is like that's how people come here on work visas, right? Because
Yeah.
it's a lack of people in that field, and
Hmm.
so then it's easier to sponsor a visa because in many ways you have to share that
Yeah.
you're not able to fill that position in the US to be eligible for that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which sucks. Like I don't think they have it. I think it's more of like the some of the newer people is like
Hmm.
I guess there she was saying
Yeah.
how like even like the lottery system isn't the same as how it used to be. Like I
Yep.
think it's a little yeah. So I'm like this is news to me.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was like I just want everybody to be okay. So
Yeah, I want to see you at the end of this 4 years, okay? I want you to be
legit like
here and
it's
safe
gonna
with your
be
family.
oh god it's gonna be a rough four
Oh my
years.
gosh. So I think so we have kind of like two more questions. I think I'm gonna kind of
Okay.
just like combine them into one. So I think, um, something that you're most proud of in your career, and then what your biggest lesson has been in your career thus far.
Oh, leaving is probably my most thing I'm
Mm.
most proud of in my career, to be honest. I haven't graduated yet, so I can't say that. But making it through this last semester oh, so I guess I'm proud of that. But no, seriously, like kind of betting on myself and leaving the last job and coming to this one is
Yes.
something I am very proud of myself for doing because I was like honestly terrified to do it, because I was like, is this correct? Should I send this to them? Like,
Girl, if you
I
don't
don't know
submit
what to
that
say.
application,
Here's, I was like, okay, I'm bothering her. Let me, but
I'm gonna
seriously,
come
like, I was
I'm
like,
gonna come get you.
I was terrified of
Apply.
leaving. I don't like not
Yeah.
having a plan. So it was legit. I was betting on myself. Like, okay, I literally had to prove to myself that I knew what I was talking about. Um,
Yeah.
in being confident in my work, essentially. Because even like in school, I'm like, sometimes I'm surprised on how some people make it as far as they do. And then I realized that, oh, I'm not stupid. I know what I'm doing. Like,
Uh-huh.
so then, like, how Michelle Obama was saying, like, girl, go in that room because half of them don't know what they're talking about. Like,
Absolutely.
it's literally like you literally have to think like that because it's true. Like,
It's so true. And like we
true.
minimize our skills and abilities. And it's like sometimes out of like an abundance of like humility, like,
Hmm.
it's what we're expected to be. It's like, yeah, we accomplish all these great things, but we're still expected to be humble, to be
Hmm.
grateful, to be thankful.
Yeah.
And it's like we can be thankful and grateful for what we have and accomplish. Like, I know a large part of the exit from the last role was like, oh, but it's so stable. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been
Oh, it was very
stable through that
stable.
whole period of time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
Getting
like, is it
paid,
stable for? Is it stable for future things? You know what I'm saying? Like,
not at
it's
all.
not a good place for future
Not at all.
things.
Yeah.
Um,
Even this one guy, he was like, because they actually moved him out there. And I went and had lunch with him because I was like, I need some advice. And he was like,
what is the team?
they may get this one project, but what comes after that? You know?
Mhm.
So it was him telling me, yeah, leave. It's okay. Like, and it really was like everything is telling me to leave. But I was just scared. So like that was a big moment for me to just be like, okay, bet on yourself. You know what you're doing. And it
Yes.
shows here because even like my mentor, she was like, no, Destiny, like you do good work. Like it's not,
Amazing work.
yeah.
Yes.
It's just it's you really do have to like trust yourself in being like, okay, I know what I'm doing. These Some of these people don't. Not at my job. People at my job know what they're doing. It was it was mainly like,
How did you pass that exam? No, just kidding.
in my courses, I'm like, some of y'all,
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes a
eh.
little bit more sense.
But yeah, so betting on myself was something I was very proud of doing. And actually seeing like like the results of it is actually it's really nice to see. Like I have grown so much in these past 2 years. It's kind of insane, to be honest. I'm
That's
just like,
amazing.
I'm very proud of myself. I don't know
I'm
how I
proud
made
of
it, but I'm
you.
here. Um, yeah, there was a time where like, God told me to sit down. So I'm sitting down for now.
Mm,
But
yeah.
so I'm only doing school and working full time. I'm not doing that other thing anymore because
Mm,
I almost lost it.
yeah.
But what was the other question? What was I most proud of in the
Oh, your
biggest
biggest
lesson?
lesson. Yeah.
Um, don't rush things.
Mm,
Um, take your time. The Asian lady I told you about in my office,
hmm.
she's so funny. She's like, because I tell her like I want to get an A in this class or whatever. She's like, let me say something. You already have the job. Pass the class. She's like, what GPA? You already have the job. But you have nothing else to really worry about. Even with me like studying for the PE, she was like, oh no, don't worry about that right now. You have so much time. And that's what I was like, God, somebody sit down because
That's
I
so
failed it again.
sweet.
But yeah,
God said you weren't listening. I'm gonna have to go talk to your coworker.
you know that
I need an
voiceover.
intervention.
You know that voiceover was like, I'm gonna sit my stupid ass down. Like that's good.
I said we're gonna have to figure out another way.
I gotta figure out. I'll wait. Okay, I'll wait until after I finish my master's. I'll wait. Promise. I
Chill
won't do it
out.
again. I won't do it again. I promise. I promise.
I gotta get somebody else to do it.
Please. I'm tired. I'm so tired. So tired.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
Okay, sorry. Taking
don't
your
rush
time.
things. Take your time. Take the time to actually like learn and absorb the concepts of things. It's Structural engineering is a lot of work. Don't expect to learn it in one day. Just like I mean, I think I said it earlier, but my dad told me whatever they're trying to teach you, soak it up because you'll probably need it one day. So yeah, if I could share a bit of advice to everybody else, do that. And I told the new engineers that too. I was like, y'all are very lucky. Well, not lucky, but I was like, y'all are in a good position right now because like you came in out of school and you were getting like real design experience. Like soak it up. It's probably a lot to handle, but you'll be better off in the future. So yeah, that is the lesson I have learned. It was a rough lesson, but we are here.
Of course, you know about the Career Love podcast, but do you know about the Career Love community? The Career Love community is a safe, inclusive, and warm environment that I created for Black women who are working on their big career, life, and business goals. The community not only offers a safe space for you to achieve those goals, but it also offers training, guides, resources, and even support like group coaching to help you accomplish those things faster. And because the community is by Black women for Black women, you'll know that your experiences and how you navigate the world as a Black woman is seen, heard, and deeply felt by the other beautiful Black women in this beautiful community. It's my goal to help Black women enter their Black woman bliss era by creating careers and businesses they really love with clarity and confidence. So if this sounds like you, go ahead and learn more about the community in the show notes. You can watch a webinar or you can directly join. And of course, let me know if you have any questions. You're always welcome to reach out. All right, let's get back to the show. Well, I love this. I love all of your story. I love all of you.
I love you
too. Just watching you, I mean, literally, I know you're talking about more of this, like, this closer, nearer term struggle and fight to, like, find some time for rest, find some time to take your time to give yourself, some freedom, and all that you are doing is, going to school full time and also pursuing your master's degree. But I just know, I think back, I'm sorry. I think back some of those times when your mom would call me, she's like, you better call Destinee because
Did she really call you?
I guess I never told you that, because she would be like, I need you to check on Destinee.
I never knew she called you.
Sometimes she would, yeah. I was still coming anyway, but I was like, but it is those moments where you're just like, it really is like you need that village to the hard work, and you fought so hard to be a Black woman in STEM, like, and I'm talking about watching you go through the struggle bus in college, okay? Really. So I just, it's just an inspiration to, like, know and call you my best friend, and just also think about, like, this kindred spirit, right? Like, who says they are still best friends with their best friend from kindergarten? Who, like, gets to say that?
I don't know.
Like,
not
we were
many.
we were birthed together with intention.
Literally.
You know what I'm saying?
Literally. And then seeing you do everything that you're doing is very inspirational. I'm like, let me get up off the couch real quick. Let me keep going.
Wait, but you're supposed to listen.
I did listen.
You're supposed to listen.
I
But
did.
I know it's coming. I know all of the just freedom and success and beauty that has been your journey is just going to continue to multiply, because you are so deserving. And yeah, it's just been so great. Go ahead and cry. Don't cry on the internet, girl. No, I was just kidding.
No,
we can cry on the internet. You know what? It's very cathartic when people, cry on the internet. Okay, so as a wrap up, Destinee, what would be a good way for somebody to connect with you if they were like, I want to be a Black woman in structural engineering?
Probably LinkedIn. Use my LinkedIn. It's like I'll keep it professional. Yeah. Sometimes I'm bad about checking it. I'm better now, so I'll see a message, like, within what's the grace period of not being rude? I don't know what that is, but I'll meet it. And if I don't reply, just know I probably didn't see it yet, but I will respond if I see it. Just add me. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'll be there.
Find you on LinkedIn, yes. Because I was like, I love how you're so in touch. You're like, no, social media. We're selective.
Girl, if it's not funny, I got off Twitter. So it was like,
oh, I got off Twitter too. I have a Twitter account, and that's mostly just to complain at people.
Oh, okay.
Like, there's no faster way that I found to get customer service support than to blow people up on Twitter. That's the only reason I have my Twitter. Otherwise, I would just delete it. It's a good thing, because they don't like you to have their business all on Twitter.
I'll just, like, listen to me vent about stuff now. So he's my customer service, and he's like, you can't say that, and I'm like, watch me do it, and then I calm down. And
well, if they didn't mess anything else up, I wouldn't be upset with customer service.
Exactly. I blow up the AI. That's what I do. I blow up the AI chat box. Like,
well, the Chipotle AI was not friendly. Well, it was friendly, but the AI Chipotle said, I can't help you. Get off of my chat. They said, I'm closing the chat. I tried to talk back
Chipotle is funny.
again,
So.
and it said, I've already talked to you about this issue. I said, I have to go. She said, it said, it's above me now. It's
DoorDash had
above
to
me
give me
now.
a real person. And then
Sure.
she was like, we already gave you a credit. Is there a reason why you want a refund? I was like, because it's my money. Is there a
Because
reason
I
why you
want
want to
my
get my
money.
refund? She
Yeah.
sent it back. She sent it as soon as I
Send it
said
back
that.
expeditiously. Send it
Right.
back to my original form of payment.
Yes, please.
Okay.
My nice.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay.
so sorry.
No, you're fine. But just thank you, Destinee, for doing this. Thank you for all the people that you're going to inspire, the future Black women in STEM. Okay, let's get that
Yes.
2% up. Yeah,
Yes,
look it
please.
up. And thank you. I'm so excited about publishing this. So if you are out there, I hope this podcast helped you. I hope this podcast helps you enter your Black woman bliss era where you're able to build a career and a business and a lifestyle that you love. That's going to help us all as a community come together and be the diversity and be the Black wealth and be the Black excellence and success that we want to see. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe on wherever you listen to your podcast. Make sure you share this with a friend, your sis, and also leave a review to tell us what you thought about this episode. And of course, you can support it directly on Spotify. All right, loves. Until next time, me and Destinee are wishing you much success in your career, in your business, and building a life that you love. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Yay!